Hi, good afternoon. I'm Julian. I'm a wastewater engineer. And I'm going to speak a little bit about water and sanitation for all. Particularly the balancing the different uses of water and the different demands. We all know that the Maltese have been creative with our basic capturing, storing, and transporting water for all our history. And we could see this in the major engineering works. The knights at the time made it a rule that every building, every area must support the inhabitants on that space. So they had a law, they enacted a law saying that every building must have its own cistern. And this law is still in act today, but we don't follow it. Over time, before the 80s, we didn't have enough water, so we had to resort to the sea to produce our water. But this comes at a cost, an environmental cost and an economic cost, because it costs money. But being able to open our tap and having water just flow from our tap, thanks to desalination, made us forget that Malta is actually a water-scarce country. We don't have any water. And this permeates through society and to a political level. And over the years, we have not had a long-term water management plan on which decisions can be made. So this, we need, yes. We just, in April, a lot of press releases have been released saying that this year was the driest winter on record. We had less than a fourth of the normal average precipitation. So maybe this will be a wake-up call for us. Sustainable Development Goal number 6 invites us to look at what demands for water we have and look at the alternative sources that are available and come up with a framework, study our possibilities of how we can make decisions to match the supply with demand. I had words over here. There were some words, but for some reason they're not here. There are a number of points in the Sustainable Development Goals which are very relevant to Malta. Number one is the fact that we have to reduce pollution, particularly in Malta with regards to nitrate contamination and the increasing salinity in our groundwater. Another one, because it was written here, but another one is regarding to water use efficiency. We need to be able, in different areas, whether it is agriculture, the municipal supply industry, we need to be able to use our water more efficiently. And we need to restore our ecosystems. Our main ecosystem, this is a water balance of the Maltese mean sea level aquifer. Basically, at the moment, it is in negative. We calculate what's going in and what's coming out. At the moment, we are in negative. So my first recommendation is to make groundwater, which is a public good, we need to associate a value to groundwater. Because without associating a positive value to groundwater, certain decisions cannot be made. Another really important point in the water management for Malta is the reuse of wastewater. About 80% of the water which is supplied is returned to a wastewater treatment plant. This water needs to be used. It cannot be, my field is wastewater treatment, and in many countries around the world, now we're looking at direct potable reuse. This is an article about California. They're just coming out of a 3-year drought. But what came out of this ugly story is that wastewater has become something which is looked at in a better light. Another thing I want to bring up today is we need to be aware of what we are discharging into our drain, what we are throwing down our drain. We use a lot of products, personal care products, pharmaceuticals, And this has a big consequence on how we are going to reuse the water after. So we need to be careful. Another thing is water conservation. Just thinking about simple things in our household, but if every single one of us does something about it, the demand side will change. And obviously in agriculture, in industrial sectors, we need to look at water use efficiency. Another really important point is stormwater. We need to be able to catch our water upstream, at source, and use that as a source of water, rather than seeing stormwater as a problem further downstream, as a flooding problem, and letting it run into the sea. So water is something. Another area which is important is capacity building. We don't have much at university looking at water science and technology, and looking at water management. We are a water-scarce country. It should be something which we look at. And also, we are on the doorstep of Africa, Africa and the Middle East, a whole continent which have similar problems to us. So, as regards, we could use our knowledge to help Africa, but also create green jobs. There's a possibility of creating green jobs. As a closing slide, what I wanted to say was that we need to start tackling things now, because the cost of not doing anything will be too great for future generations, but also for ourselves, because we don't have many years without really feeling the pinch. So, thank you.